I like perusing the Goodwill outlet store, which is not the Goodwill thrift store, but a variant of which where everything is essentially at last call before it finds its way into a landfill. So you rummage through all these blue bins where everything is just laid out and you're free to discover whatever trash or treasure you might find. And you pay for it at the current 2024 rate of $1.69 per pound. So if you find games or video games or anything tech related, that price per pound usually nets a great value. But recently, or since the pandemic, Goodwill has been actively pulling games and tech out of the bins that you might be free to discover and putting them in these cages. That's fine because any current tech, I understand, has a higher profitability margin, especially if you're trying to pay for a physical store space and employees. I get that. But Goodwill is engaging in a practice that might be morally vacant in some regards. So instead of finding video games in the bins just freely, they pull video games out. They make these bundles of 50 that can be sold at a higher value. But if you look at these bundles closely and dissect them, there's a few things amiss. I'll give a pass for the sticker that clearly warns you that there might be more than one copy of Madden in here. This box is carefully curated to put 22 good games front-facing and occupy all visible space to purposely mask 28 games that you might think go along with this value, but really are a mystery until you purchase this and open it. You don't know. They could be absolute garbage, or they could be more of the same, increasing the value or the perceived value. Now, I wouldn't be too upset at this, but when you purchase this, which I did after tax, cost a little bit over $55. When you unbox everything and lay it out in the same box of 50 that they use for 50 DVD cases, all 50 games fit in this box with their spine facing outward. So it's very easy to see what 50 games you're getting. And there's no question that Goodwill is very cognizant of hiding games that are worthless in a value that makes you artificially inflate them above what all these games cost. So the mystery box is a morally gray area at best, and I don't expect retail places to actually participate in that. But what's also amiss, normally these games would cost less than $20 at $1.69 per pound based on their weight. But I think Goodwill understands their retail market for games and prices them and bundles them in this way to maximize the absolute profit squeeze they can for reselling on the game market. And I'm going to test that theory. So what I'm going to do is split this game lot into two. The action blockbuster titles that I know are worth selling, people want to buy, and we'll put the effort to break up and resell. And the rest is the Connect stuff. I am going to pull two games out, one because the disc wouldn't work in Xbox 360, and the other one I want to play. So to replace that value, I'll put this Spider-Man game in, which I haven't been able to sell for 6 months on eBay at 20% below market value. And as a completely outside reality comparison, if you will, I'll show you what the value of both these lots are if in a perfect world they sold at price charting prices, which again, I think is completely irrational for most of the time. But I wrote some software that essentially, if you scan all the UPCs, this software will append a URL that searches per game off Price Charting's website and then uses HTML tags to basically look for the price data, which is, again, aggregate data based on sold eBay and Amazon listings. That's, again, in an ideal world, this is the value if you took the time and waited for the market to want to buy these individually. I don't think that's worth the time, and I suspect Goodwill knows that too. So here's both lots. They do cost a bit in shipping because they are heavy. And here's the bidding history on both lots. I know for a fact the Connect lot was only active in bidding because I put this sob story in the listing and I just had a message from a buyer looking to collect the complete Xbox 360 set.
Who hurt you?
And there were enough of junk games conveniently all sold together that I got 2 bids on it. So that's just, I can't explain the rationale of game collecting. I just do not understand it. Both lots were sold under 5-day auctions. This lot cost me $58.83 after tax. This is the earnings I get after the eBay fees and the shipping costs. So total profit from all this effort was $4.04, which means going to the store, taking these photos, checking all this stuff, listing these, putting them in a box, and mailing them. I only got $4 of profit, which I very much suspected it would be hard to break even, because I also think not only does Goodwill want to kind of mask or let you come to your own influence conclusion that their game bundles are perceived more value than they're actually worth, Goodwill also knows that they're priced at the highest point they can get for these bundles in the resale market. So just my consumer alert for people, still looking for their thrill in buying and reselling the game market. I would no longer consider Goodwill a viable option. They just know what they're doing, and they're kind of part of the grift. So yeah, don't be like me, and thanks for watching.